Greeting, Reeson. I am a forest gardener and a forest garden designer, and today I'm talking about the ongoing project Clifftop Garden. I'm designing a wildlife clifftop garden with scented plants, forest garden plants. Not a particularly big area, but it's a very exciting project. So there's quite a lot to talk about today, funnily enough. Even for a small space, there's an awful lot going on, and it's brilliant. It's like it's really good fun. So I'm going to talk about tea plants, the bank, dealing with a steep bank, path edges, tapestry lawn, and version control for the project that I'm doing. So first of all, I shall keep that to hand. So first of all, tea plants. I was working with. Let me get the tea plants up. This is desert mint, which is Mentha longifolia, horse mint, but subspecies Schimperii or something. And this is from Jekka's Herbs website, and this is what's used in Moroccan mint. There are lots of different types of mint. Some are better for tea, and some aren't so good for tea. But the whole idea came about from the the pergola. So I'm putting a pergola in, and I say, well, why not? You know, you could have a storm kettle, and you can make your tea and have like tea plants around the place, so that when you're in the pergola, where it's got a tin roof on it, you can actually have cups of tea there. And kind of be self-contained, so you don't have to go down to the house to get your tea. And it's just like a nice little idea. And even though the client was saying, well, we're not sure about it, and you go, yeah, that's absolutely fine. But because it's a scented garden, a lot of the tea plants will be the same as the scented plants. So I've got just a couple of examples. I mean, there are an awful lot of examples. In Martin Crawford's Creating a Forest Garden book, you'll see an awful lot more examples. So I've got a couple of examples here. This is the desert mint, and there are other types of mint as well. If you look, and then the other one was the kind of classic one is New Jersey tea, which is a Ceanothus. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Americanus. New Jersey tea, it's used for making tea, and it's a beautiful scented plant as well. So it's that kind of thing where you have a lot. I don't know. You can think of fennel, or there will be loads. I can't think of many, obviously, off the top of my head, but there will be dozens and dozens of different plants which are available, for making a tea out of. So it's a really nice little. It's a nice little focus on the idea. So that's the tea plants. And then the next thing I was looking at was the bank. So this is the picture before the house was actually constructed, and the garden's up here, and it's got a steep bank which has got a load of grass growing over it. This has had some topsoil put on top as well, so there's a lower level down here. Oops, let me zoom in. Can I zoom in? Yeah. Come on. Sorry. There's a low level down here, so there's been some more topsoil added. But basically, there's that bank. It's just got a load of grass growing out of it, and fireweed, and it's and bramble. And so what I want to do, and I've asked, there's a woman called Carly Green who works at Botanic Gardens, also has a new wildflower nursery, and I've asked her for her advice about how to deal with it. And basically, it's to use what erosion control blanket, erosion control rolls. So it's this stuff. It's like coir, the kind of straw or coir, and it forms a kind of fairly thick mat. You roll it over, pin it into place, and then you can plant straight into it. Then, so that means you're not having. If I tried to pull the grass off of that steep bank, there's a really good chance that the bank will start to erode. So you need to kind of get the material, pin it in, and then put the plugs in. She also said about growing grass as well, but not like a really vigorous grass, because that's what you don't want. Well, no, I don't want to have vigorous grass that is just falling all over the place and needs to be cut all the time. So looking at fescue species, I must admit I don't have much experience of this at all, but it's kind of interesting, another little area to look at. So non-competitive fine fescue grasses, but their roots will help bind the soil. So that's a really, really good idea. So, and then intersperse that with the wildflowers. Haven't chosen the wildflowers yet, but I will come to that. There's a great number of native wildflowers to choose from. If you look at my Garden Wild project, you should be able to see, is it time for a bit.ly.garden wild spreadsheet. I've started putting together a spreadsheet of different plants. So if you're interested in different species, it's an incomplete. I mean, it's only a few dozen plants on there, but it'll get. I start the ball rolling. So that's the bank. So that's kind of really exciting. And then the other thing. What was the other thing? Oh, path edges. Because I've been talking to the landscaper, really nice bloke called Ollie, who's very good at doing kind of paths, hard landscaping. So he's going to be doing that. But look, I mean, this isn't. They're not very accurate. It's more of an idea to get a rough idea of the space available for the path. So I'll do it in situ. But even so, I know that to get a plank to bend around 1.5 meters of space, to get a 1 inch thick plank to do that will be really difficult. So I looked at soaking it, and then Ollie emailed back and said also you can put cuts into it as well to bend it. So I've been doing a bit of research about that, and there is a thing called, hold on a second, I've got it here. There we go. It's called Kerf Grooves. I don't know if you can see that. Basically, you cut grooves into the plank, and then you can bend it in the direction of the grooves. So that's what I'll be looking at, and also soaking the planks as well. So like a combination of grooves and soaking. Be interested to see how to do it, and I'll give it a go actually, because the wood itself isn't that expensive, so I can just try it, do a dry run, so to speak, with a 2 meter length of plank, 6x1. Put some grooves into it, and then soak it in the pond, and then just see how much it will bend by if it's doable. The reason for doing it is because if you don't do it, then you'd have to use something like metal edging or some other edging for the gravel path, and that starts to get really expensive. So this is why I'm looking at that. So it'd be an interesting one to find out. And then the next thing was the Tapestry Lawn, and this is on the garden here. I'm starting to get there now with the design. I'm not 100% happy with. Well, let's see how it pans out. What a lot of the time, it's just to get the feel of the garden right, and I just got to whereabouts the lawn is and how it sits and in the garden. But whatever it is, it's a relatively small amount of space. And can I do it with this? Oh, I wonder. And it's a relatively small amount of space, and I'll be interested to see. Oh, it's not going to do it. No, it's only about 10 square meters or something of lawn, and I want to use create a tapestry lawn. So there's a chap, Lionel Smith. He was on Roots and All podcast, and he's created a tapestry lawn, which is non-grass species, and there's some really beautiful species in there for that space. And the lovely thing is that they can be aromatic. So let me just have a look at the so this is an example of a tapestry lawn. So hopefully you can see that. Really, really beautiful, and it's you mow it, and it needs to be maintained like any lawn, and weeded and everything. Not massively weeded, because the plants will hold their own. But the lovely thing is it can be really, really a scented garden, a scented lawn. So there's lots of different species. Now what I have done is, you can do that, yeah. What I have done is to create a spreadsheet of all the native plants which are in this book. And if you want to go and look at that in the Tapestry Lawn book, because that's the kind of thing I like to do, is create spreadsheets in my spare time. And if you look at let me grab hold of the URL for you, paste that in. Oh no, hold on, there we go. So if you go bit.ly /tapestry-lawn-natives, this will give you this spreadsheet. So yeah, it's just brilliant. There's just like some really, really nice stuff in there. So I'm really kind of very excited about that. Oh yes, I am indeed. It doesn't say whether they're scented or not. Oh, I can use the as a plants for a future database, so I can use that as a kind of go-to to check the scentedness of the plants. So that's a Tapestry Lawn. I'm really, really excited about that because it's a small area. It's what the client actually wants. It's much better for wildlife. It's going to be the first one I've done, so it should be bloody amazing. What I do have to be very careful of is it's a wet site. It's on the edge of a cliff, so there's a lot of water comes down. So I need to make sure there's good drainage. My plan is that we'll see how it goes, but my plan is to put down sheets of cardboard and then a compost soil, possibly compost soil, topsoil mix on top. But that for the areas where I want to put in a Mediterranean area, growing some lavender and what the hell is the other one? Rosemary and stuff like that. Then I want to put grit into the mix as well to get the drainage sorted out. So I'll have to sort that out as well. But that's going to be that'll be great. So possibly with the lawn too, because I want to put thyme in there, which would be great. So there we go. That's that one, and then finally, finally version control. Now this might sound really, really boring, but honestly, when you're using it does make a hell of a difference. When you're using a CAD piece of software, there's different file formats. This one is DXF, and it's a plain text format, which means you can store the files online, and it will do updates. So I've started to put all my CAD files are stored online on my GitHub account. I'm Grow Digital, which is my old kind of web design name. So this basically means I don't have to keep on making different versions. And then rather than make a different version, I wonder if we can view your branches. Oh yeah, maybe it's all about you. But rather than making lots of different versions, you just got one version that you keep updating, and then you can what's called tagging in Git. This is all a bit geeky, but you can then say which version it is, so that you keep track of the major changes that you've got. So that's what I'm doing, and then I just when I come to create the notes, I just put one link straight in there. So where's my notes? Oh, here they are. Yeah. So I only put like one link in to the latest CAD file, so it's automatically maintained. So it makes life a lot easier just in terms of changing links and things. So that's a little geeky aside. So there we go. There we have it. Oh, this is Carly Green's Gaining Ground Nursery. Hold on. And that's on Instagram. And that's Carly Green. So she's kind of given us a bit of advice about that, which is cool. Lovely. There we go. Hope that's interesting and all the rest of it. And yeah, that's quite a lot of stuff. I've actually now got to get on and start putting the designs in as well. So I've got quite a lot to do now this afternoon. Thank you for watching. I've got a live, a real-time workshop tonight, so 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I will be talking about forest gardens. It's a beginner's workshop, so I'm just going to be going through the kind of basics of forest gardening, and then there will be like a Zoom meeting afterwards where I shall be talking to the students about their own particular gardens. So yes, I'll be live at 7 p.m. It's free to join, but please do, if you want to come along, then the URL to sign up for it is natureworks.org.uk courses and real time. There it is. There we go. Anyway, and I've got a live stream on Wednesday as well. Fantastic, all about dead hedges, Wednesday at 10 a.m. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Let me switch to the outro.